Garden folks. I wanted to just stop and show you what I call the magic beans, unicorn beans. They actually have a name. Vulgaris is the term of the type of green bean or legume that this is. And these guys are from Asia, specifically from the Philippine Islands. And they're huge, as you see. And each set of beans actually blooms with two blooms and grows in, splits off, and the blooms turn into two beans. So it grows two beans at a time. And sometimes one bean will mature a little bit quicker than the other, but they get pretty long, as you can see. And as the plant, and this is a new plant, it's not real mature yet, but look what it's already putting out. I let the first couple pods go to seed because I needed more seeds. Because I was tickled when I found some seeds from a couple of years ago. Because I've grown this and I haven't grown a garden for a couple of years. So anyways, they're from the Philippines, and actually the story of Jack and the Beanstalk originates from this. Because the beans themselves are very, very tiny. Kind of like a porcelain sewing pin. The head of that pin, that small, that little bead. So they're very small. So these tiny little beans make these incredible beans, green beans. But then the stalk will grow up as high as you can imagine. And I've seen photos of them in the Philippines and other countries, where they're growing up huge, like telephone poles and things like that, the size of buildings. And a guy just is on the third story, and he goes out on his balcony and picks a handful of beans. And as this gets more mature, every other day you can go out and pick a full family serving of beans. But for right now, the plant's new and just started producing its flowers and its beans. Then over here, we have the red okra, which has a symbiotic relationship. Now these I grew with some false shade, because these plants will not sprout or germinate without shade. Now they have a symbiotic relationship with the okra plant, especially red okra. Okra is kind of itchy at the leaves and the thing, and it's not bothered by many insects. And it produces, of course, a lovely, tasty, healthy fruit. And I love red okra, which also originated in the Philippines. And right here are some teeny tiny seeds. That's the first set of seeds that I sprouted. And then from that bean plant, I had harvested a pod, let it dry, planted this okra in advance, so it'd already be growing, and this barrel. So it acts as a nurse plant, and it provides a shade, because these beans will not sprout without shade. Okay? And you see a teeny tiny, and their leaves are distinctive from other bean plants. You see how teeny tiny the seed pods are. They're quite small. They're quite small. Right here. They're very, very small. But this will grow quite crazy. My goal is for them to string. I'm having to come over here to meet this. And then my goal is to string them up so they come to these wooden corners and go across like a clothesline. And so you step out and you'll have a line of these beans, and you start picking them. And these bean plants, I've had them in Corpus Christi and raised them with the okra. But once they start going, they're pretty weatherproof. And they are hardy in wind and rain. And their vines are self-supporting. Once they get going, they kind of vine on themselves and keep going to strengthen their existing vines. But they've survived snow when it snowed that one Christmas and Corpus. And also some light freezes. Some super hard freezes. It's not going to survive that. But it actually survived snow. So, which I was surprised. And it kept producing green beans well into the December and all. So anyway, here's the garden. And I got another okra over there. And actually, I thought that okra stalk died out. And then it sprouted a whole new branch. And it's growing another flower and more okra. And so, and in that blue barrel, I've got lima beans. Not lima beans. Lentils. I'm just starting to know. Lentil beans. So anyways, everybody have a great day. And enjoy.